HoopsOnLane.com Fan Podcast, Episode 53, Purdue Pre-Game.
Hoops on Lane Fan Podcast is sponsored by About Face Cosmetic Therapy Center, because basketball season is also laser hair removal season.
You're listening to Hoops on Lane, a fan-produced pregame and postgame podcast about the Ohio State University men's basketball team. Visit hoopsonlane.com or subscribe where you listen to podcasts for all the latest episodes and information. Now here's your host, Dave Horning.
Greetings, Hoops fans. This is Dave Horning for HoopsOnLane.com Fan Podcast, with a preview of the upcoming game between the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Purdue Boilermakers, to be played on Wednesday, February 7th, 8:30 Columbus time in West Lafayette, Indiana at Purdue's Mackey Arena. Mackey Arena is a circular arena that seats 14,264 and is considered by many to be one of the loudest arenas in the nation due to its domed aluminum roof. The game will be televised on the Big Ten Network and broadcast on radio at The Fan 97.1 FM. Yes, this is the biggest game of the year in the Big Ten. Purdue is ranked number 3 in the AP and the USA Today coaches poll, while Ohio State is now ranked 14th in the AP and 16th in the USA Today coaches poll. In Big Ten play, Purdue has a perfect record with 12 wins and no losses, in sole possession of first place. Ohio State is in sole possession of second place with a record of 11 wins against 1 loss. The winner of this game will be in first place in the Big Ten. The Purdue Boilermakers are a well-balanced team with 4 of 5 starters averaging in double digits, just like the Buckeyes. However, the Buckeyes will be without starter Cam Williams, who is serving a suspension for unknown reasons. Purdue is a very experienced team with 4 seniors and 1 sophomore in their starting lineup. Let's go right to the starting lineup and talk in depth about each player. Starting at center, number 44, 7'2" senior Isaac Haas. He averages 15 points a game and is the second leading rebounder. His weight is listed at 290 pounds, so he is a big man in every sense of the word. But he is not the tallest player on the team for Purdue. His replacement, number 32, freshman forward Matt Haarms, is listed at 7'3", but only weighs 250 pounds. These two will provide a strong challenge for the Buckeyes' Caleb Wesson and Micah Potter, who are both 6'9". Isaac Haas, Caleb Wesson, and Micah Potter are similar in that they all have a nice shooting touch around the basket. They do not need to rely on the dunk to score. Haas makes 62% of his shots from the field and 78% of his free throws. He has not attempted a three-point shot all season. By comparison, Caleb Wesson is making 58% of his shots from the field and 60% of his free throws. Micah Potter is making 52% of his field goal attempts and 77% of his free throws. All of these big men have a nice shooting touch. Although Isaac Haas has not attempted a three-point shot all season, his backup, Matt Haarms, has shot 7 and made 1 for 14%. Here is one area where the Buckeyes can point to an advantage. Caleb Wesson and Micah Potter have attempted 25 three-pointers and have made 8 for 32%. So the Buckeyes dominate in three-point shooting from the center position. And yes, I am grasping at straws here, looking for areas where the Buckeyes hold an edge over this great Purdue team. At the number 2 position, power forward, the Boilermakers will start number 12, 6'7" senior Vince Edwards, who is averaging 16 points a game. Vince Edwards is from Middletown, Ohio, and attended Middletown High School, the same high school that Jerry Lucas graduated from in 1958. Vince finished his high school career at Middletown as the second leading scorer behind Lucas. When Vince Edwards was in high school, the Buckeyes were targeting highly touted national players and more often missing than landing them. There are many Ohio players who were passed over by the Buckeyes during this period, including Vince Edwards, Luke Kennard, Trey Burke, and Dakota Mathias. Jim Naveau of the Lyman News has written a nice article about this. Vince Edwards is Purdue's leading rebounder, surprisingly ahead of 7'2" Isaac Haas. Edwards is the second leading scorer, averaging 16 points a game. He is making 43% of his three-point shots. It will be great to see him matched up against Keita Bates-Diop, both 6'7", great rebounders and scorers. That's number 12, Vince Edwards. Playing at the small forward or third guard, or should we call it the shooting forward position, is number 31, 6'4" senior Dakota Mathias, who played his high school ball at Elida High School in Elida, Ohio, a small town just outside of Lima. He was the Ohio Division II Player of the Year and first-team All-State. Mathias has made 67 of 143 three-point attempts for a 47% average. He is Purdue's leading three-point threat. He is also leading Purdue in assists. It should be fun watching him match up against Jayshawn Tate. I think Tate is stronger underneath, while Mathias is obviously the better three-point threat. That's number 31, Dakota Mathias. At the shooting guard position is number 3, 6'1" sophomore guard Carson Edwards. At the shooting guard position is number 3, 6'1" sophomore guard Carson Edwards, Purdue's leading scorer who averages 17 points a game. Edwards is making 40% of his three-point shots, and he is the one with the quickest trigger. Which Buckeyes will be guarding number 3, Carson Edwards? Will it be Andre Wesson getting the start again in place of Cam Williams? Look for number 3, Purdue's leading scorer, Carson Edwards. And finally, at the point guard position is number 11, 5'10" senior guard P.J. Thompson, the only Purdue starter not averaging in double digits, but a shooter who is making 49% of his three-point shots. It will be fun watching P.J. Thompson play against the Buckeyes' C.J. Jackson. That's P.J. versus C.J. Very similar games. Purdue is coached by Matt Painter, a former Purdue player and the successor to Purdue's legendary Gene Cady. Matt is in his 13th season as head coach of Purdue. And what can we say about the Ohio State Buckeyes that hasn't already been said? Under first-year coach Chris Holtmann, this team has overachieved, and there are few who expect the Buckeyes to have much of a chance on the road against Purdue. No predictions will be given here. I'm just looking forward to a great game. The key to this game for the Buckeyes? There are no keys. Purdue is a great team, so the Buckeyes will need to play great in every aspect of their game. Ohio State's starting lineup will probably be number 34, 6'9" freshman center Caleb Wesson. Can he stay out of foul trouble against 7'2" Isaac Haas? Number 33, 6'7" junior power forward Keita Bates-Diop, the Big Ten's leading scorer averaging 20 points a game. Number 20, 6'6" sophomore forward Andre Wesson, the replacement for Cam Williams against Illinois and likely against Purdue. Number 3, 6'1" junior shooting guard or point guard C.J. Jackson, the team leader in assists and second in scoring. And finally, number 1, 6'4" senior Jayshawn Tate, point guard or small forward, the dynamo who never quits and is a capable scorer, rebounder, shot blocker, ball stealer, and assist giver. Ohio State is coached by Chris Holtmann in his first year. Purdue won its last game on Saturday at Rutgers by the score of 78-76. So this Purdue team is showing some vulnerability. Purdue made only 23 field goals compared to 31 for Rutgers, and Rutgers out-rebounded Purdue 37-25. Wow. Purdue won the game at the free throw line, making 25 free throws on 29 attempts, whereas Rutgers had only 10 free throw attempts, making 8. Maybe Purdue was overlooking Rutgers in anticipation of playing Ohio State. Maybe Purdue will overlook Ohio State in anticipation of its next game, an away game at Michigan State. The game is on Wednesday, February 7th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Big Ten Network and on radio at the Fan 97.1 FM. Don't miss it. This is Dave Horning for HoopsOnLane.com Fan Podcast. Go Bucks! Beat Purdue!